And we are live and back. We got this YouTube thing figured out. Hey, Vikki, so nice for you to be here. Tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do before we get started.
Okay, I'm Vicky. I'm a mom to two young men now. I can't say they're little boys anymore, although I hope they were. I work full time in contracting, and I have a side business sharing my love of jewelry and skincare and cosmetics.
Awesome. Okay, so for those of you that are just tuning in right now, I can't see who's watching, but this is actually a live breakthrough coaching session. And some people reach out to me and say, Tina, what is a live breakthrough coaching session? What do you mean by having a breakthrough? And this is what a breakthrough is. A breakthrough is when there's something that you're up against in life and it's getting in your way and you can't see it, and then you discover something newly and get it out of the way. And so this is what we're going to create with Vikki today. So Vikki, just tell me first of all why you wanted to have a breakthrough. What area of life are you kind of up against something and you don't know what you're up against?
I find I tend to hide a lot. And I don't know that it's hiding. It's probably a lot of procrastination that I know what I should be doing and I just find ways to avoid doing it. Um, like cleaning my house. I'll do anything not to do that. And it's not that I like a dirty house. I mean, it's not that dirty, but there's a lot of there's just, I don't know, there's always something stopping me from getting to what I really want. And I don't know what that is.
Okay, so right now in your life, what do you really, really want?
I want things to be easy, but I know that's kind of impossible. Um, I want, I just want things to go smoothly. I don't want to feel like I'm, I don't know how to say this. I don't want to feel like I'm constantly being let down.
Mm. Tell me more about that. What's that experience like for you to be let down?
I just feel like half the time, oh, not half the time, but a lot of the time that my needs aren't as important as everybody else's. And I don't know, I just don't seem to be able to address them. And when I do decide to get out of my comfort zone and ask for something, and it's always like, no.
What does that remind you of? Asking for something and being told no.
All the rejection over the years. A lot of,
And,
yeah.
and when you say rejection, can you think of a specific example of when you had the experience of being rejected?
I guess even like in my teen years, every time there was a breakup, every time there was, somebody you're interested in, um, you know, putting yourself out there. When I auditioned for Ice Capades, and no, I wasn't good enough, wasn't thin enough. Um,
Can you,
yeah,
how old were you when you auditioned for Ice Capades?
18.
Can you tell us about that experience of auditioning?
Well, first of all, I starved myself for 2 weeks prior because I knew that they weighed you the day of audition. And um, that day when they weighed me, I was 6 pounds overweight. Based on their weights, I weighed 128 pounds. I was not fat by any means, but you hear that and it's like, oh no. A friend of mine and I went. They basically told me I wasn't talented enough as a skater. Um, I couldn't dance. And I needed to lose weight because they said based on my height, I should have weighed 122 pounds.
And what was that experience? I mean, can you go back to being 18 and what was that experience like for you? Because I can imagine that in order to even audition, there was a lot of work that you put into preparing for this audition. It's not like you just walked through the door, never got on a pair of skates or
Yeah. Yeah. I was skating. I'd been figure skating since I was 5 years old. And, a lot of hours on the ice. And I wasn't the best skater, but I did enjoy it. And I did we did a lot of I skated 3, 4 nights a week, depending on the time of year. And
and what was that experience like for you? And sometimes we go into as an adult, we make an interpretation, but I kind of want you to get right into that 18-year-old who's auditioning and what did they say?
they said, go home, lose weight, and take a dance class.
Mm. And in that moment, what did it feel like in your body to hear those words?
That I wasn't good enough.
That's probably what you believed about yourself, but how did it feel?
It hurt. It hurt. It did hurt. I tried to push it aside. Um, Say, well, if anything, I got to skate in Joe Louis Arena. But, it really did hurt. It was something I really wanted.
And what decision did you make about yourself in that moment?
I went to a Chinese restaurant and ate everything I could frickin' eat. And a year later, I was 40 pounds, 20 pounds heavier.
And so, what decision did you make?
That I was fat and nothing, that I was fat.
And what else?
And I couldn't dance. I couldn't skate. I did continue to skate for a couple more years, but yeah, it was just for me to exercise, but it was, I kind of lost my dreams.
Mm. And because in that moment you had the experience of losing your dreams, what decision did you make about yourself? I get that you decided that you were fat, but there was something else underneath that you really believed to be true about yourself.
I don't know if it was, I don't know. Um, I knew I had to change my dreams. I had to focus on something else. Um, all the work and effort I put into it, I don't know. And
Well,
I'm kind of glad I didn't go into it, but back then it kind of was like, okay.
yeah, wait a minute, because what you're going to want to do, right, is right now, you're right there. You made a decision about yourself. It's not true, but somebody said something that you were fat, that you needed to lose weight, that you couldn't dance, you're not talented enough. And then right after that, you went and ate everything in sight. You made a decision that you were fat, and you also made a decision about yourself, not just what you look like on the outside.
But I wasn't good enough.
And how did I'm not good enough play out after you, from the time you're 18 to now? How does that show up in your life?
Not getting close to people, not trying. Always putting a block up that when good things are happening, thinking they don't belong there.
Mm.
Yeah.
And what's that experience been like for you?
It's been hard. It's been hard. It's been like we're talking 37 years later. And it's been it's been hard. And then when I think I've gotten past it, something happens and I have to start all over again.
How did you overcompensate for not feeling good enough?
Um,
What did you become instead? What did you become really good at?
I'm really good at knitting. I'm uh really good at my job.
Tell me about that. What makes you really good at your job? Because, see, what I want you to see here, right? This story that's been playing out, not good enough. Like, I'll never be good enough to dance, to skate, to look like X and O and everybody else over there. And something might have shown up to overcompensate for that, to deal with that. And, I'd like to say that it is a trauma, because when you work really hard for something and it doesn't go the way you want it to go, you feel something inside. You made a decision, I'm not good enough. That's showing up in your relationships. You keep people at a distance. You always are in the space that it's never going to be good enough, anyways. But consider that you overcompensate in other ways. You're really good at what? I know knitting and the doing, but there's a way of being too that shows up in your life, isn't there? That's really helps you to win in life.
Yeah, I'm really good at hiding and protecting myself.
Great.
Yeah, I do try to protect myself from a lot of things.
Tell me more about that. How does that work? How does that show up in your life? How do you know you're hiding and protecting yourself?
I spend a lot of time on my own right now. Um, I will sit for hours and find things to do that I don't have to think about things. Um, when I'm doing my knitting and that, I do that because people go, "Oh, I really like that." I'm getting some feedback from that. But most days it's just easier to just kind of hide from the world and just be inside my house. And some days I don't even go outside at all. I mean, I have a pool and I haven't been in it yet this year. I just, I don't know what it is. Lately, it's been easier just to hide out.
Now, what if the opposite were true? What if you were really willing to believe that you are good enough?
Then I guess I'd put myself out there a little more.
And what might that be like if you put yourself out there a little bit more?
It's scary. It's scary.
Like, what would you need to get rid of in order to really fully embrace that version of you that's always been there?
I need to overcome my fear. I don't know though. I don't know what I would have to get rid of.
Well, what belief has been playing in the background all of these years?
That I'm not good enough. There's always something wrong with me.
There's always something wrong with me. Now imagine, with that belief, there's always something wrong with me. Can you see how that would impact your relationships when it's
Oh,
always there, always in the background?
yeah. Yeah.
Now, what's the risk of believing that you're good enough?
and I'm not, that I'm going to fail again, that something's going to come along and somebody's going to tell me that I'm not good enough again.
Right. Now, let's just kind of get really present to something, Vikki.
Mm-hmm.
You made up this decision about yourself when you were 18 years old.
Yeah.
Something happened, and your experience was, I'm not good enough. And consider this, just let in the notion. You can't logically think about this, but experience it. What if you would have had a different experience, a different story about yourself when you were 18?
Things might have been different. I probably wouldn't have been a single mom.
And some people think that, well, it's too late now. 37 years have passed and I've had this story, but this story has been reinforced because you've just looked for evidence everywhere that that is actually true. And what if right here, right now, you can rewrite the narrative? That what happened was you tried out with thousands of people and they said no.
It's hard hearing no. It's hard hearing no.
Tell me more.
I don't know. It's hard to hear no. And I'm always so afraid of hearing the words no that I just kind of don't ask.
Right. Now, once you see this, that I was told no, and I didn't like the feeling when I was told no, and there's a whole bunch of a story attached to it about yourself, what that means about you. Now, the work is reprogramming your brain to believe that that's actually just a story that you made up and it's never been true. It's never been true that you're not good enough. They just said no.
I never looked at it that way. Never looked at it that way.
See, somebody in your situation might have felt disappointed. It was like, oh, well, fuck it, try again. Or, they would have created a different narrative. Oh, well,
Mm-hmm.
there's a lot of people here. But you created the narrative that I'm not good enough. And you've been living into that story your whole entire life.
Yeah.
And those habits have become your way of being, hiding,
Yeah.
protecting.
Yeah. I hide from a lot.
Now, what would it take for you to come out of hiding?
The fact that I'm doing this is a start.
Yes, it is.
The fact that I went, okay, something inside me went, okay, this is something I should try. That's a huge start for me.
And I really, really want to acknowledge you for the courage that it takes to look within and to expose. I don't know how many people are going to watch this. Maybe a
Yeah.
lot. And this is what I know to be true. There's somebody out there right now, right there, right online right now, who something happened and they made a decision way back when that they weren't good enough to.
Mm-hmm.
And your courage and your vulnerability to share has maybe turned on a light bulb for them, that maybe it is a story that I just made up too.
Yeah.
Now, an insight is just an insight until you take action. The question is, okay, this is a little confronting, right? What do you get from hiding and hanging on to the story that you're not good enough? What's the payoff?
I don't have to make new relationships. I don't have to try. I don't have to. But even that's kind of sad, and that's not really what I want.
Logically, right? And But they're the reason why these things persist, even though they're unwanted, one, we're not aware that they're there playing in the background, and two, we're doing a really good job protecting ourselves.
Mhm.
See, because if you don't put yourself out there, you never have to hear no. You never have to deal with this experience of rejection.
Yeah.
You never have to be responsible for the badass that you are. You can just keep being in your house doing jack shit instead of shining your light with the world.
Yeah.
Now, when are you going to give up being victim in your life and be responsible for it?
Well, I'd like to say right now, but I know it if I say right now and then 3 hours from now, it's gonna come back. So I'm gonna have to start now and just keep going. Just keep going, I guess.
Yeah, see, Vikki, 37 years of telling yourself that I'm not good enough and that I need to hide and it's not safe, that just doesn't unprogram itself like that.
Mhm.
It's a practice of catching it when it shows up. Oh, I don't feel like going out. I have nothing to wear. Oh, wait a minute. That's me keeping myself safe.
Yeah. Yeah,
What,
I have to go to a family wedding this weekend, and it's kinda stressful.
right? And can you just be with, okay, the stress is just coming from your thoughts about it.
It is, because it's with all my family that my cousins and my that who are my friends, but
It's
I'm still stressed about it.
right. So, what's the belief that's playing in the background about going?
I don't know. I don't know what it is. It's again, I'm not good enough. I got nothing to wear. I even though I have a closet full of clothes, I have nothing to wear.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. How am I gonna get there? How am I gonna get home?
Right. And then it's like, oh, that's too much work.
And that's even my brother's coming to it and he doesn't drink anymore, so I've got to ride home.
So, this is really beautiful, right? Because for every excuse, there's always a solution. And for those of you that are watching right now, maybe you're feeling the same as Vikki, like I don't want to go out, I don't have anything to wear. And just ask yourself, what if the opposite were true? What if I want to go out? What if I have something to wear? What would it be like to be in that energy of just living life, playing full out, being on the court instead of continuing to sit in the stands watching your life go by?
I actually did that this weekend and it felt good. I went out Friday, I went out Saturday, and it felt good. But then I had to recuperate Sunday.
Yeah, and notice, right, when you start feeling good, this is the thing that will happen. The old version of you will try and hijack your happiness. No, 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 wait a minute, that's not safe. Vikki, don't go feeling good. Come on. Somebody's gonna knock you off your pedestal, tell you that you're not good enough. No, no, come, let's stay hiding.
Mhm.
It's you against you,
Yeah, it is.
right? And when we can see that, and this is really, really, really great, Vikki, because most people will stay in the energy of I'm not good enough and just not live life. But what's it costing you to stay there?
It's costing me my happiness.
What else?
My friends, they because if you keep saying no, I'm not going enough, then everybody moves on without you.
And what else?
Me? Because I know I'm not that person.
So, what's an action you can take, right? Because insight plus action equals transformation. What's an action you can take to get outside of this story that you created that you're not enough?
That's the thing. I don't know how to stop that dialogue. I don't know how to stop that.
So consider it's not a doing, it's a being. Who do you get to be?
I get to be confident. I can draw on the things I'm good at, I guess. But then the things I'm good at kind of lead to me being alone.
Yeah,
Right?
like none of this is, see, this is why the majority of people don't want to look, they don't want to discover, because then there's an obligation to be responsible for your happiness.
Yeah,
And, sometimes people are addicted to the negative emotions. And just check it out if you have become addicted to just negativity with yourself.
probably. Probably. Yeah.
Now, I have a stretch for you.
Okay. Okay.
Be with the person in the mirror until you see that person as enough.
Okay. Yeah, I can do that. I can do that.
And confidence is just, it comes with competence. It's taking the actions until you feel comfortable, like dating. If there's a belief playing in the background, but you get out there and you date, like date 10 people, show up, getting connected, or whatever it is for you that's going to really get you outside your comfort zone. It's in those actions that you'll start reprogramming your brain to believe, hey, what the hell? I am enough.
Okay.
Now, what would that be like to really embody and embrace that I am enough right here, right now?
Oh, if I really believed I am enough, I wouldn't I would go do a lot more. I would go on the trips. I would take the trips. I would um not hold on to things so much. I think it would reduce a lot of clutter, mental and physical clutter,
Yeah.
because I think I tend to hold on to things because that's where I get my validation from.
And that's another breakthrough. The whole lot of things and letting go, when we are hanging on to this story. Yep.
So I'm just thinking, so I think if I do believe that I am enough and I can tackle that, then I'll be able to tackle everything else.
Yeah. Like, and then it becomes an integrity issue.
Yeah, and then I have to figure out how I'm going to do that. So mirror, even though it's not my friend these days, and I don't own a full-length mirror in my house. Maybe that's what I have to do is I have to go buy one.
Go buy one. Go buy one.
Yeah, I don't I can't. The only time I ever see myself in a full-length mirror is when I'm at a store trying on clothes and I don't like what I'm seeing. I actually did try on a couple dresses one day and they said, "What do you think?" And I said, "I like the dresses, but not the body that's in them."
Mm.
So,
And you can see where that comes from when you've already made a decision at 18 that I'm fat.
mhm, yeah,
So when you have this playing in the background, you can actually probably be skinny, lose a bunch of weight, and still feel when you look in the mirror that you're fat.
yeah, yeah. Well, 20 years ago, I did lose a bunch of weight and I still looked and I could see my little belly, but I had had two kids.
Yes.
I, and I was down to a size 6. I still weigh, and I was skinnier than I'd been in my entire life, but I still weighed more than I did when I tried out for escapades.
And it doesn't matter when you have this playing in the background. And there's some other stories there too, and beliefs and all of that stuff. But when you have this story that I'm fat and you're not aware of where it came from, the source of it, you likely will be in the best shape of your life and only see what you believe.
Mm-hmm.
And this is the power of our programming. This is why we hit the glass ceiling. This is why we don't feel fulfilled and happy in life, because it will never be enough, because you already made the decision that I'm not enough. How do we transform it? We shift the narrative. You're the author of your story. Only you get to write the next chapter.
Okay.
And of course, sometimes you can't do it on your own.
No.
Find your tribe. Find somebody who's going to hold you accountable, that's going to hold you higher and see you as the highest version of yourself.
Okay.
And know that you are loved, you are beautiful, and you are enough.
It's
You are.
hard.
Yeah, but it's hard is just a story that you're using to reinforce it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. That's true.
Actually, not hard. It's
Okay.
actually not hard. It's a choice.
Okay.
And I know logically that doesn't make sense. 7 years, it's so hard. I can't clean my house. I can't get out there. Yeah, it's all a perfect attempt to keep you safe. And when you can see that it's actually not keeping you safe, it's holding you back from joy and fulfillment and happiness, then it becomes a choice. And you just catch the thoughts and you let them go. And when you catch them and you let them go, you practice being that highest version of yourself until that's just who you become.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, you guys, I know we've been on for a while. Thank you for watching. Vikki, how do you feel? What are you hearing? What are you taking away?
I'm hearing it's time to start believing in myself again, to start changing things, and putting myself out there again.
And what does that look like? What action are you going to take to put yourself out there?
I'm going to get out with my friends more than I do. I'm going to rely on them because I know when I am in a funk, they are there for me.
Mm.
And I'm going to start not waiting for me to be in a funk to associate with them.
Beautiful.
Yeah, that's probably going to be the first step, is not waiting until I'm down and need them, just going.
Really great. And I know there's a lot of emotion there still.
A lot.
And it's really beautiful, right? Because we hide from our emotions. Embrace them.
Yeah.
When we're about to step into something new, it doesn't feel good. We're letting go of the old version of ourselves that we created ourselves to be. That's never comfortable, but there's a lot of joy and happiness and fulfillment when you can really embrace and embody your next chapter. Okay.
Okay.
I
All
love you.
right. Thank
Thank
you.
I'm going to check in on you after this.
Okay. Okay.
And I'll talk to you really soon.
Okay. Thanks, Tina.
Thanks, Vikki.